So I know it's been a hot minute, and by hot minute I mean like almost 6 years since I've done a review of this comic, but there was a reason for it. Basically, the political atmosphere really kept me at bay from wanting to read it. And Chris did send it a while ago, and I was just like, I'm going to read it, and then the administration would do something irrevocably horrible, and it kept me from wanting to read it. But I decided to sit down, buckle down, and finally read Volume 2 of Killadelphia by Rodney Barnes. And I am so glad I did. Killadelphia, because it's been a while since I reviewed Volume 1. I think when I reviewed Volume 1, it was in 2020. And I did review the 2-volume spin-off Nita Hayes' Nightmare blog, which is part of this universe. Killadelphia is basically set in Philadelphia, obviously, and a detective named Jimmy Shankster discovers a vampire conspiracy led by John Adams. Yes, the second president of the United States, that John Adams, involving a vampire takeover of the world. He, along with his vampire father, managed to stop them, and we've now come to 6 months later, and John's wife, Abigail, is now planning a more hostile takeover of the world. So here we are with that story. On top of that, you also have another growing background story that I'll get to in a bit. So I forgot how much I loved Killadelphia, and if you've been reading so far in the ongoing, you also know that in Killadelphia, the later volumes, I think in trade it's Volume 6, that it crosses over with Spawn, Savage Dragon, and Blackula, and also has Dracula in the story. So you literally have a 5-way crossover that happens in this book. And I don't know if Volume 6 is the final volume, but I haven't seen any continuation, so who knows. Anyway, so Killadelphia Volume 2, let's talk about that. Killadelphia Volume 2 takes 6 months after the events of Book 1. And in here, Shankster discovers that Abigail has been plotting a new hostile takeover of Philadelphia, and then eventually like into larger territories. But Killadelphia is the focus right now, and she's using a vampire named Jupiter, a former slave vampire. And Jupiter goes off the rails after being... he's just like a mad dog who goes off the rails. On top of that, Jimmy's father has been brought back to the land of the living, even though he found peace with his dead wife, and is now forced to come along on this adventure again. There's also a matter of another character named Seesaw, real name Tevin, who has gone to the afterlife to find someone who can stop Abigail. There's a lot that goes on in here. Like that's the thing I like about Rodney Barnes, is that he's a great horror writer. He is an absolutely killer horror writer, and he's also like really good at tying in real world issues. Much like in Volume 1, where it was like talking about like the gentrification and disparity in Philadelphia, and it goes on here of talking about like Abigail and and also like John Adams' desire for freedom, but it was just like, we're just going to enslave more people and have it only be for white people. But Abigail had a different approach to it. I'm not going to spoil it here, so yeah. The story is pretty solid. Also, Sean Alexander's artwork. I'm going to try to see if I can find you a page that's not going to get me in trouble. Is really cool. I really love like his artwork on Spawn, but here it's like very vibrant. Vibrant in the sense it's like every panel doesn't feel the same. Like everything feels like a dark kind of sinister kind of tone. Like everything has this undercurrent of like this darkness to it, and there's a lot of fun to it as well. Also, Jimmy's dad, I don't know if this is on purpose, but Alexander draws him like what's his name? I forget the actor's name, but he played he played Martian Manhunter in Supergirl, and he also voiced Vandal Savage in Justice League Doom. That actor's done a few things here and there, but he looks a lot like him. I don't know if that's on purpose or not. There's also some connection with Nita Hayes' Nightmare blog, in that we see the demon Corson in here too. I know it's been a while since I've done the Nightmare blog, but Corson is here, and he was kind of the main antagonist of that story. The story does end on a holy shit, where do we go with Volume 3? Thankfully, I have Volume 3, and that will more than likely be the next comic I review, because God knows it's been sitting here for a while, and I want to get further into the books because I want to see the Dracula, Blackula, Spawn, Savage Dragon, Killadelphia mashup. I want to get to that point, but we got to get through Volumes 3, 4, and 5 to get to Volume 6. Anyway, there's also a backup story that slowly integrates the next thing that we're going to see in this universe, which is werewolves. And yeah, it's werewolves that were part of the Black Panther movement. And on top of that, there's more to it than that. Rodney Barnes gives a really cool origin involving Sumeria, as well as like old lost African tribes that tie in with werewolves. It's really cool. And it also ties with Malcolm X, basically saying, yeah, Malcolm X is a werewolf, which is kind of awesome if I'm being honest. All in all, this is a great comic dealing with a lot of like inner city like gentrification, racism, and sprinkling in a lot of like horror, because I've always said horror is a fertile ground to talk about these kind of issues. And I think Rodney Barnes is a killer writer, so I really enjoyed this. And again, I'm so sorry it took me forever to get to this, Chris, because I know you're watching this review. But like I said, the current administration, every time I would try to read this, I would just be like, the current administration would just absolutely fuck something up and just make me not want to read it. But yep, I'm finally decided to buckle down and finish these books. But you guys tell me in the comments below, if you've been reading Killadelphia, let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Do you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse, and I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.